right. So I was saying that these diseases can be corrected once the persons are provided with a balanced diet. Any other question on these two diseases, or can I move on? All right, so we're moving on to vitamins. Now, we know that vitamin is a micronutrient that cannot be prepared by our bodies in the required amounts that we need. Now, because of that, it is important that we consume certain food that are very rich in vitamins, because vitamins are essential for the normal functioning of our body. And we also know that once we don't take the correct amount of vitamins that we need, we will be suffering from different vitamin deficiency diseases. All right. Now we are going to look at some of these deficiency diseases that are associated with vitamins. Now we're first going to look at vitamin A. Now, vitamin A is important for our eyes. If you can remember the last time when we were looking at the functions for the different vitamins and minerals, vitamin A is important for our eyes. Now, if we don't have enough vitamin A, and that is for a very long period of time, we will suffer from a disorder in terms of our eyes. Now, if you can look, if you can see very clearly there, that is a very fancy word. Um, I am encouraging you guys to type the word in any search engine, Google, whatever you have. Type in the word to find the correct pronunciation of it, because it's a very, very tricky word. I don't want to pronounce it and then I'm not saying it properly. Or what I'm going to do at the end of the class, I'll probably look up the pronunciation for it and see if I can send it to you guys. But that's the deficiency disease you are going to have if you don't have enough vitamin A in your body. Now, what happens with this disease is that it occurs mostly in children below the age of 5. And basically, the disease, you have a very poor eyesight. That is what happens in the disease. Now, the next vitamin, vitamin B1. If you don't have enough vitamin B1, you're going to suffer from a disease called beriberi. Now, this disease can come in two forms or two types. We have the wet beriberi and we have the dry beriberi. Now, the wet beriberi affects the heart and the circulatory system, while the dry beriberi damages your nerves, which will further lead to you having a decrease in muscle strength, and eventually it's going to cause you to have paralysis of the muscles, right? And we know that our muscles are very, very important when it comes to helping us to do certain activities, right? Our muscles work hand in hand with our bones to ensure that we're able to move about. Now I have a picture here that is showing you what the vitamin A disease looks like. As you can see, it's not too much of a pretty sight. It's not too much of a pretty sight. So your eyes, sometimes they might get very enlarged, very red. Then in other cases, severe cases, it looks like a coating is covering your entire eyes. Can everybody see clearly? Hello? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, miss.
All right. Now, this next picture is showing you what the berry looks like. And as you can see,
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
the person looks very malnourished. Um, it's like you're seeing the skeleton system of the person.
All right, so we are going to be looking at some of the other vitamins that we looked at when we were looking at vitamins and the different food nutrients. So we're on to vitamin B2. Now, generally, whenever you have a shortage or there's a lack of vitamin B2 in your body, some of the most common signs or symptoms that you would see is retarded growth in terms of, let's say, a person not developing or growing as healthy or as properly as they should. Another indication would be your skin, in the sense that you know when you look at somebody and you can tell that, okay, their skin is healthy, even if there's some dryness in the skin, but you can tell when someone is healthy, when they have healthy skin compared to when they don't, right? So in the case where a person may seem as though they don't have healthy skin, that could be an indication that you're lacking some vitamin B2. Now, in vitamin B12, one of the most common deficiency disease that a person may experience is anemia. Now, anemia is simply a condition whereby your blood is unable to carry the amount of oxygen that it normally does. It's not able to carry these oxygen to the different cells in your body. And we know that oxygen is very important for our survival, right? In the sense of respiration, if we don't have oxygen, our body cannot be able to um, give up energy so that we can be able to do our necessary daily activities that we normally do. So it is important that our blood cells, it's important for them to, transport oxygen towards the different parts of the body. So in anemia, what happens is that your blood cells, they're unable to do so. So whenever you hear someone saying that, oh, that girl, she's anemic, well, they're saying that she has either a shortage in her blood count, and that could be causing the condition whereby her blood or her blood cells, we could say, is unable to carry the oxygen throughout her body. The next one, vitamin C. Well, vitamin C is very important. All of the different nutrients are important, but lately, with what is going on right now, we've been hearing that you should increase your intake of vitamin C, to prevent you from being affected by the present illness that we have going around. Now, if a person has a shortage or a person lacks some amount of vitamin C, that person is going to suffer from a deficiency disease called scurvy. Now, scurvy is basically a condition where the red blood cells that are found in your gum, these blood cells become weak, and sometimes there is a decreased amount of them. Right? I'm going to show you a picture of it just. All right. So I was saying that vitamin C, whenever you have a shortage or a lack of it in your body, you're going to suffer from a condition called scurvy. Now, in this condition, what happens is that the red blood cells that are present in your gum, right? Remember, your gum has a lot of blood cells inside, right? Red blood cells. Now, what happens is that these blood cells become very weak, and in some cases also there is a shortage of it. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Quite Marciano.
Yes, miss.
Yeah, my mic is broken.
Just making sure, because
For a moment there, I thought I get knocked off the game. Anyhow, so yes, so the red blood cells, they become very weak, and in other cases, you have a shortage of it found in your gum. Now, I have a picture here to show you what it looks like. There's just one of the picture. There's many images of it. So there you can see is that clearly the gum isn't healthy. You can have a lot of bleeding in cases where sometimes your teeth, they may fall off. Your teeth may not develop as they usually do, and it's just really, really not a good sight. So there you can see vitamin C is very, very important for your mouth. Not only your mouth, but there are other, I can say, for example, within your nose, the lining within your nose, that tissue that is found inside of your nose. Again, blood cells are present there. If you find yourself having a lot of cold in terms of sneezing, runny nose, and so on, that is also an indication that you're lacking some vitamin C. So if you have,
Miss, you're breaking up.
I was saying that
You gotta fix the guitar we have, miss.
it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's GT&T. So the next vitamin we're looking at is vitamin D. Now, usually, whenever you have a lack of vitamin D in your body, and this mostly occurs with little children, they have what is called a severe case of rickets. Now, rickets is basically a condition where your bones become very weak and they become very soft, and because of that, they're not able to be formed properly as they are supposed to.
The deforming of the legs, where you grow differently because you're lacking of nutrition went up again.
All right, so I was saying that whenever there's a lack of vitamin D, you suffer from a condition called rickets. Now, in that condition, your bones they become very weak, um, all because your body is not able to also use calcium and phosphorus. So the bones they become very weak, they become very soft, and because of that, they're not able to be formed properly as they should. You can also have instances where um, it's very easy for you to break a bone or sprain somewhere because of the condition. So in that picture there, it's showing you what a normal person looks, that is without the condition, and what someone will look with the condition. Now, please don't get this confused with somebody who gets bowfoot, right? That is not the case. This is a whole different situation. Clear so far?
Yeah, miss. One time I couldn't go foot.
Yes, Miss.
All right. Now, the last vitamin we're looking at is vitamin K. Now, vitamin K, whenever you have a shortage or a lackage of it, you tend to have you tend to have severe bleeding if you have like any, it has to be a severe injury as well. So you tend to have severe bleeding occurring if there's a lackage of vitamin K. And I think vitamin K, it plays a part in your blood for blood clotting. So if your blood can't be able to clot in cases where you have some kind of injury and you're bleeding, then your blood is just going to continue running, right? Hence having excessive bleeding in that case. So that brings us to the end of vitamins. Um, we're just going to look at a couple of the minerals that our body require. The first one, which is calcium. Calcium and phosphorus, they go hand in hand. Like I said earlier, the vitamin D. Vitamin D helps in your body absorbing and using up calcium and phosphorus. So if there's a lackage of vitamin D, it's going to affect your body taking up calcium and phosphorus. Now, calcium and phosphorus, when we were looking at their functions, for those who can remember, they are important for your teeth and your bones. So if you have a shortage or a lack of calcium and phosphorus, it's going to affect your bones as well as your teeth. Now, in the case of calcium, if you have a shortage of it or a lack of it, what is going to happen is that your bones are going to become very brittle, meaning they're going to become very soft. They can be broken very easily. They're going to be very weak. In the case of phosphorus, again, your teeth, they can be very weak, your bones as well. So the same condition actually applies to both of those minerals, calcium and phosphorus. Now, in the case of iron now, again, we're seeing anemia appearing. And as I said earlier, a person who is anemic is whereby their blood cells, it is unable to carry the amount of oxygen that is required to be carried. The blood cells, they are unable to transport the required amount of oxygen to the different cells within the body. So the person is going to become anemic as a result. Now, there are other signs and symptoms, but this is I'm just letting you know what the disease is and what it is about. So in your spare time, you can look up what are some signs and symptoms, of a person who is anemic. Now, iodine. When we were looking at iodine, I had asked you guys to look up what happens to the body when there's a shortage of it.